GM1 here. I'm going to be going over the new M2A1. This has officially replaced the M2HB, at least in the Navy it has. So I'm going to go over how to do a barrel swap, a function check, because I don't think I did it in any of the other videos, so do that too, and then just go over some briefly on the new things about it. So let's go ahead and verify it clear and safe. There. Chamber bolt face clear. Alright, so they definitely simplified the barrel swap on this. For just your regular watch stander, all you gotta do now is you got this J slot on the barrel support and the barrel notch. You just line up the barrel notch with the J slot, get it toward the middle, and line it up, twist it, and it'll pop right out. So, barrel comes off nice and easy. The carrying handles, you can take it off, and then here's your barrel notch that you line up with the J slot to install it. So to put it back in, barrel notch, line it up with the J slot. You're going to get it back about that far. I'm just going to push the charging handle back like before, and you're going to keep pressure on the barrel to keep it pressed against that barrel extension. Get it in the J slot, push it over, and then you're good to go. So to test to make sure you got it in right, you're going to be pulling back on the charging handle, just rocking it back and forth, and your barrel's going to be moving in and out because it's recoil operated. And if it's moving out in and out with the charging handle, you know that the barrel's engaged with the threads on the barrel extension, and it's actually locked in place. Alright, so we'll go over a function check now. I already verified cleared and safe. So for the function check, we're going to start out in single shot. So put in single shot, make sure the safety's on. So single shot, put in single shot, you're going to pull it back, and then you're going to push the charging handle forward. So in single shot, when you pull it back, you're going to check for two things first. Make sure the bolt stays to the rear, which it does, and the belt feed slide assembly protrudes out, which it is. Those things are good. You can keep proceeding. Press down on your bolt release lever. That should send the bolt forward. Bolt goes forward. When the bolt goes forward, you're going to lift the top cover. You look down into the bolt face to make sure it did not slam fire. And you can see if it'll slam. If it did slam fire, you'll see a firing pin. If it did not, then you won't see a firing pin. And I don't see a firing pin, so it did not slam fire, which is a good thing. So I'm going to put on safe, check the safety, put on fire, and it should fire. Heard it fire. And I'm going to look down too again to make sure that the firing pin is protruding out, which it is. Alright, so single shot is good to go. Next we're going to do it in auto. Make sure the auto works. So press down your bolt release lever, then latch it down. And then safety is back on. And your top cover closed. I'm going to rack it 3 times. While I'm racking it, I'm checking to make sure it has a smooth operation and the belt feed slide assembly is doing its job and going in and out. So I'm going to rack it 3 times. Alright, everything was nice and smooth, and I saw that I was feeding. Again, press the top cover, make sure it did not slam fire. Don't see a firing pin, so it did not slam fire. Come back here, check the safety. Safety works. And fire, and it fires. And I do see the firing pin. So that is your function check. Alright, now to go over just some basic stuff about the new M2A1, what to look for. So the new M2A1s have a flash suppressor, which actually works really good comparatively at night to the old one where it was just a straight barrel. And there was a giant, Kamehameha fireball that comes out of it. The flash suppressor does a really decent job of reducing that the giant blast that comes out of it. So that was really neat. They put the flash suppressor on, also a threaded barrel, so maybe in the future you might get a big ass silencer for it, but who knows? Probably not. And then, but the thing about the barrel or the flash suppressor is that it's very brittle. So if you bump this thing really good, the prongs on the flash suppressor could break off. So just be careful about where you're swinging this, and that the flash suppressor is very brittle. So carrying handle, pretty simple too. Carrying handle release. I just lift up and I'll slide off. Pretty simple. Really easy and user friendly. we found out that when we were trying to put it on the Humvee mounts that have the front shields, you gotta have the carrying handle off. The carrying handle will get in the way of installing it, so you just have to remove it and install it, kind of like the old M2HB without the carrying handle, because the shields would get in the way on the Humvee. Another thing too about the M2A1 is there are certain parts that you cannot remove anymore, you're not supposed to remove. I'll cover that in the assembly or reassembly. So if you needed to order parts to swap them out, there's a lot more parts on here, or if it does break, you just gotta send the whole thing back and they'll fix it over there. So you still can do certain parts, but like I said, other parts like the breech lock, if that breaks or something goes wrong with it, you gotta send it all back. And also you can't adjust the timing anymore. It's all pretty much set and made to go when you get it. So if anything breaks, you gotta send the whole thing back. You do still have to do headspace and timing. So prior to it leaving the armory, the armorer should do headspace and timing. It is almost exactly the same as the old headspace and timing. So new headspace and timing gauge. They would conduct the headspace and timing with the barrel going with the receiver. So usually we send them out 2 barrels, so we would check both barrels with this receiver. You keep them together and they'll be good to go. So when it's out there, they should have been checked, and all the user has to do is just keep those 2 barrels with that receiver, knowing that it's good, and they do not have to headspace and time it every time. You just put the barrel on and it's good. So you do not have to headspace it and time it every time, just the one time before it gets issued out. Alright, so that's just a basic overview of the new M2A1, and you can see the videos on the disassembly and reassembly. Alright, thank you.